This guy wants to party. Hey, Danny, you want me to send you the link so you can share it on social media?
Yeah, sure.
All right, YouTube's creating it.
Can you send in the chat?
Give me 1 second. Yeah, if you look in the chat, it's right there now.
All right.
That was Thundercat. First time I heard him.
He's great.
He's not bad. That was pretty good.
I like funky music. He's a funky individual, so I like it.
Well, what's up, everyone? I couldn't be happier today to have Danny Levy on. Danny, say hi to the planet.
Hey, planet, how you guys doing?
So tell us your story, Danny.
Sure. Where do I start? I was born on February 13th. No, I was kidding.
You're a Valentine's Day baby almost.
Yeah, I'm an Aquarius. A couple hours before being a Valentine's baby. But I was born in Miami. Born and raised. Went to Florida State for a little bit, and then didn't do as well as I wanted to do, unfortunately. But I used that to start a staffing agency, and the staffing agency scaled to be able to sell it to move out to the Bay Area. And I've been able to work for amazing CEOs and tech companies. I ran the Nest recruiting team. We were to 40 people, went to 700 people on the engineering and design side. And then
that's the thermostat company?
Yeah, the thermostat and the smoke detectors. It was run by a guy named Tony Fidel, who built the iPhone. And I worked, this guy worked for us. So it was pretty awesome. And then I left to start this company called HirePool. And it was a startup that didn't scale as much as I wanted to. And then most recently I was working for Elon over at Tesla. Dang, you got a big drink.
This is my life hack. My theory is that if you're going to make a protein shake, why make the shake and then pour it in a glass, and then you have two things to clean?
I just hope that blade does not get into your face, because that thing is sharp. You know?
Yeah, no, that's that thing.
Yeah. But so then I most recently was working for Elon at Tesla, running autopilot recruiting, and left to start this company called Ting.io. And Ting is Ting.io. And why I left Tesla for it is honestly COVID and a female both, like came my life, and it changed my brain and headspace and wanted me to build something different.
Did the female bring COVID?
No, fortunately not. At least not yet, fortunately. But the thing is, I've been able to actually like dive in my mind and find what I enjoy, and being able to work with such amazing people and being able to learn so many things is great. But what am I doing to put it into fruition, and actually for myself? So building out Ting.io, which is a platform for creators to build their brand and scale their brand using technology that we create via mobile application and web applications. And creators are podcast hosts, creators are artists, creators are influencers, anybody who has a skill or trait that has buyers interested, or people or fans interested, right? It can even be brands, essentially.
Is Ting live, or
Ting.io waitlist is live. We launch in early next year. We'll be letting a select people, few in the beginning, to utilize it. And then there's a complete experience for fans that fans will be able to gain rewards and through competitions with creators, etc. So it's pretty awesome. I have an engineering team working on it. I have a full design team working on it. I left everything behind. It's this, and I'm bleeding and sweating for this every single day, or I will go flip burgers if I have to. But I left tech behind me. I mean, I don't want to work back in tech again. I've learned what I've learned, and now it's time to like take that and just run shit the correct way.
Did you guys raise money, or is this all bootstrap?
It's all bootstrap. I have an investment deck getting done now. I've fielded angel calls. I've declined them just because I don't have leverage in my eyes to get good terms. So in January, I'll be opening up an institutional round I'll be raising. but I'm open to angels if people are interested, and I have pretty damn good terms right now. But I'm not in a place where I need to take money right now. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And you're launching on mobile first, I take it?
We'll have both up actually. So mobile, so they're kind of will be going together. The website will be allow you to look at the back end of a lot of your data as a creator, right? So you'll be able to, so mobile, you'll be able to see pieces of it. Like most apps, you don't see everything on your mobile app, right? You have to like go into a web-based portal to see everything in detailed statements and things like that. So it's going to be similar where you almost have a login back end where you'll be able to see more data about your career and statistics about revenue and statistics about fans and things like that. But yes, we'll be launching on iOS for sure, potentially on Android. I'm not sure, but we'll
Are you guys building in React?
Yep, we are building React.
I love React. I think React's one of the best developments in the software space in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on what we're scaling, but for the type of business we have, it's a consumer-based platform. There'll be a lot of solutions that we want to toggle on and off, and with React, it makes it a lot quicker. It makes it easier to build in that fashion. That you can make more things interchangeable, and it just is. You're right. It's the new and cutting edge part of JavaScript that people can code in. And for anybody that's not privy with what React is, it's a framework of a coding language called JavaScript, which certain software engineers use to build out like the way something looks when you perceive it, the way on an app or on a web page, and how it functions when you click certain buttons. But yeah, and we have. So we'll be scaling in January. I already have pretty big artists that are interested. I have advisors I'm talking to that are big artists. It's going to be like it's big or go home. And luckily I have a lot of good people on my side, and I'm just gonna keep working my ass off, and everyone else on my team is doing amazing.
So what's the problem that Ting solves? What's the big problem you're solving?
Growing as a creator, keeping your fans happy as a creator, keeping your fans paying, buying merchandise, buying tickets, you might even have premium content, but they won't buy it if you're not keeping them engaged. Right?
Who are you competing with in this space?
There's a few startups right now that are working on not similar, but random areas that are piece of features of it. But there's no one in the space that I would say Instagram, Spotify stories coming out, right? Spotify stories are, but tailored.
Spotify is coming out with their own stories too.
Yeah, Spotify stories.
Twitter, Instagram, Spotify. Everyone's got.
It's diluted, but my opinion, and honestly, I don't care if other tech companies assume me as being wrong, but I feel like when you create a network that's not social and then drive it social later, it's hard to change the framework to drive it to be social because people are not used to it. The Pavlov's law, we're not used to seeing it as a social platform. So because Spotify stories pops up, you might keep fans engaged because you can tell Shawn Mendes, you can show him on his boat. But that's the same thing that Snapchat does. It's the same thing that that Instagram can do. But what can a creator do for a fan that no platform can do? And that's what I'm looking at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about yourself. How old are you now?
33.
You're just a young pup. Just a young pup.
A young pup with 3 kids. You
got 3 kids?
Yeah.
That's a lot of babies.
Yeah, 6, 5, and 4, like in a row, pretty much.
That's a startup in itself.
Yeah, when I had my first startup, I started a company when my ex at the time was pregnant, and it wasn't the best. But now, I've seen that having kids is a beautiful thing, and actually, the reason I left technology and working for Elon was because of my kids more than anything else, right? Like being able to build for them is something I've always wanted to do. Like I feel like as a parent, the only thing you can do is set examples for your kids and they follow, right? And if they may go on your tendencies you didn't show them, but that's because it's just part of genetics, unfortunately, and things happen. But if you can show them the bright pasture and try to give them a foundation and try to say like, hey, I can at least build you part of the columns, but you got to build the rest. That's what I'm trying to do to show them like you can do stuff on your own, because I wasn't given the opportunities myself when I was younger, and like growing up, I had to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do.
Where are you at now? In San Francisco?
Yeah, I'm in the Bay Area. Correct. Yeah.
The weather looks great today.
Oh, it's so nice out. It's kind of cold, but I still have that Miami in me where I get cold of everything. But it's super nice out today. The Bay Area is awesome. The company's gonna be remote though, so if anywhere we're listening interested in working with Ting, we're a remote based company. We also don't look at backgrounds as similar as all tech companies. Most tech companies will say you need to go to Stanford, you need to go to Berkeley. I've been recruiting long enough that I can find the nuances of people's background to make sure that they're perfect what we need. So I'm looking to open to talking to people that are in diverse backgrounds or from areas that maybe I've never heard of before. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Where's your team right now? Distributed?
Yeah, well, I have my engineers are based at Seattle. They actually built the Acorns app. If you've seen that before in the App Store, but it was a cool app that you can, like, if you spend $1.13, the extra 87 cents you can still charge your card that gets moved to like an investment. So like eventually it starts building up and you have all this money for investment. And they did really well, and they've been engineering for Microsoft before that. My design team is based out of Brazil. They worked with me before years ago. They're amazing. They worked on a few different startup tech companies in the Bay Area. I have legal. I just added, actually. She's a lawyer for 5, 6 top of the hip hop creators right now. So, but she's interested in working deeper in the company. And I also have an amazing intern working out of Baltimore area. He's very well connected, super smart, economics major. So am spreading myself out because I've done this before and spreading my teams out in areas. And I'm just excited, man. This is like doing something to help creators, doing something to help the industry. I feel like it's needed. The corporate side of the entertainment industry is a behemoth that is slightly changing, and I feel like Ting is a company that can make an impact as those changes happen.
That's awesome. Are you open to letting Elon be on your board?
No,
No.
no, I'm just kidding. Of course, he's like the smartest guys in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I think that what people perceive is very true. He says what he says, but he does what he says too. He says he's gonna build a flamethrower. He does. He says he's gonna send people to space. He did, and he does.
Let's be honest. I mean, the flamethrower, that's basically just a barbecue grill hooked up to
Yeah, yeah, sure, yeah, sure. But like, I mean, he still said it.
yeah, no.
He also is very open about how he feels about his own stock and own company and how it's getting overvalued in certain areas. And like, so I think he's just a realist, and people call him. I mean, he's a CEO of a tech company with tens of thousands of employees and a lot of people to worry about. He's got to be a little neurotic, a little crazy. You have to be like, there's no way you can be normalized in that kind of environment, and scale to that growth he did. And like, so to answer your question, yes, I'd be very open to it. Have I thought about it? Not really. Honestly, my strategy around my team and the people I surround myself with is I want people that I know I can learn from, which, yes, he is them, but no, I can learn from, like, where I want to go get to. I want to get to knowing how to really emotionally affect creators in a positive way, right? I want to, and so like maybe Dan Pink, who has written tons of amazing psychology books out of Wharton, is somebody I want to talk to because he understands the psychology of a person, right? Like, that is someone that is interesting to me. Or you look at, in general, like somebody in music space that has the experience and has been through the hard times and good times, and that can give me those stories, which I do have in my head of music in Jahi. And he's worked with Def Jam and a few other places as well. So
How about Scooter Braun? He's listening.
yeah. I mean, well, that's another thing too, right? Like I haven't talked to any of the big people in the game yet, aside from ones that have hit me on Clubhouse. I've been on Clubhouse. I've been very quiet about what been building. I am talking to a few of the OGs. They might not want to call them OGs, but they are OGs to me because I can learn so much from them. And they've been in the game for a minute. Some old VPN A&Rs, Def Jam, VPN A&Rs at Atlantic Records. I'm talking to the next few weeks. I've been very, very slow and just like letting people. I've been more on like Clubhouse, for instance, and other platforms, and just being helpful.
How do you like Clubhouse?
You know what? Like, Clubhouse for me is a great place that you can learn if you have a great head on your shoulders. Because if you don't, you will take every piece of advice as being true. And you need to realize there's a lot of people on that platform that are not real, that are not who they say they are, right? That have saying experiences from a third party view as opposed to being right in it first person. So you need, if you don't have that kind of mindset where you can navigate through bullshit, that you can navigate through, how do I look through this person's background to see who they know and talk to my buddy who knows them and that person who knows them, then you're going to find yourself dipping very quickly into a puddle of mud and not be able to get out, because you will have an advisor who said they worked at Def Jam, who did this, who did that, and they were a dancer for Vanilla Ice or something. You know what I mean? Because that story happened to me, by the way. So, not saying I assigned anybody, but after I started talking to him, I realized he wasn't who he said he was. And that, I think it's just industry.
Go to LA for a week and a half, and you'll bump.
Oh, that's where it was. Yeah, it was in the basin. It was in LA when that happened. But like I said, into not to spend too much time on the topic, I feel like the team is the most important thing you can do when building a company or being a creator or doing anything in life. You surround yourself with people that you trust, that you value, that you look up to, that you can learn from, that you feel confident in saying they're part of your team. And if you can't learn from them, you got to question your own self and why they're part of your team in the first place.
Danny, I got to tell you, the project is interesting. Your head is screwed on tight. You've got good outlook. I think where you're going is going to be impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Send me the links where people can learn a little bit more about you. Ting.io.
Yeah, I'll send you my LinkedIn too, so they can see my background, so they can know, like, they can add me on LinkedIn if they want.
LinkedIn, yeah. I will say one thing.
Yeah.
LinkedIn over the last 3 years for me personally has become the most annoying platform of all, because I'm not kidding you. There's not a single day where I don't get hit up 5 to 10 times by people from Bangladesh or India trying to sell development services. So many people use LinkedIn as a way to create sales leads for themselves. And it's not organic in nature where people connect anymore. Now it's just, hey, I wanted to connect because I saw that we have some similar connections. And hey, by the way, can I sell you some services?
Yeah. No, exactly. Well, so LinkedIn, I was a beta tester on LinkedIn in 2009. And what I'll say about LinkedIn is, as a platform, there's so many ways to utilize it to your benefit. I'm sorry if I'm boring you, but I promise it's super.
No. That's just me.
No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like for anybody listening, this is very helpful, because LinkedIn is a still underutilized platform for the value it creates. Right? You have a pool literally of professionals.
It creates value, but I think it's creating less value for its old time users than it did in the past.
The analogy I'll give to this is, when you go to a shopping mall and you know exactly what you want to buy, that makes your day easy, smooth, no problems, everything goes by. But when you go there and you're not knowing what to buy, and you spend 4 hours there, and you end up leaving like, I hate the mall, I don't want to go back to the mall again. Just like LinkedIn, when you don't know what you're looking for and you don't know what you want out of it, you're going to be like, I hate this shit. Like, this is so annoying. Like, I don't know how to navigate through this. I don't know what I want. But when you go in there, like, I want a software engineer who's had experience in this, who's went to these certain schools, who has this kind of background, you can actually find them. That's the beauty of it, right? Because like, a lot of people are still very open to other backgrounds, or you can tell based on companies they worked at. And one of the tools I'll tell people is, and this is not a plug for me because this is not my tool, but mailswipe.io is a platform that I've utilized. You should all utilize. If anybody's listening that is looking for like technical talent or looking for just outreach in general from LinkedIn, as you use the platform, this extension shows you email addresses to people you're searching on LinkedIn. So it allows you to do direct outreach as opposed to being sucked into LinkedIn, like messaging and being next to everybody else. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, LinkedIn is changing. Any social media platform, when you get mass, Clubhouse will change too. It already is changing a little bit, but it will change even more. And I feel like any social media platform, maybe like the weirdness is like Reddit's been one of the few that hasn't really changed, because people would just stick in their own categories, like they just stick in their own wavelengths of things, because I think they built it that way, right? They originally said like, we're going to build in categories and like what people love and things like that. But when it comes to like Clubhouse, it's like so random, from all hours of night, every kind of thing. And then you look at Spotify moving to stories, again, similar aspects, but I feel like why Reddit was able to scale is because they kept that pillar building system in the beginning. But yeah, I mean, I'll send you some stuff after. I'm super excited. It's just the beginning. But every single day I get movement somewhere, and I'm excited to finally get this thing popped up and open.
Sounds great. He's Dan Levy.
Yeah. Danny, aka Danny Dope. But hit me up after. I'm on Twitter. I'm Danny Dope, or I'm on Instagram, also Danny Dope. So I'm Danny Dope. So feel free to hit me. And also, I appreciate Chris.